What's going on, everyone? This is Vance Apollo, and this is my weekly show where I talk about everything that has happened in the past week. And let's kick off this week's show with nerd news. And in the only bit of nerd news that I got, Kristen Wiig has been casted to play Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2. Kristen Wiig is known for her comedic roles in SNL and her performances in movies like Bridesmaids and the new remake of Ghostbusters. Now, for those who don't know, Cheetah in the comics debuted in 1943 as Barbara Ann Minerva, and who obtained her powers through an ancient curse that was casted upon her when she was a reporter. Lastly, Wonder Woman 2 is set to premiere in theaters on December 19th, 2019. In my personal opinion, I wanted Cheetah to be in Wonder Woman 2, and I didn't know who was going to play her exactly, and I didn't know they were going to use Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2, but this is all good news for me. And the fact that it's Kristen Wiig doesn't really scare me at all, because in the past they have used comedic actors to play roles of villains and heroes. For example, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man and Danny DeVito as the Penguin in the old Tim Burton Batman movies. And yes, they have messed up with Jim Carrey as the Riddler, but let's try not to focus on that so much. And now on to sports news. And in the first bit of sports news, Michael Smith leaves SportsCenter just 1 month after Jemele Hill's exit. Both Michael Smith and Jemele Hill got their start on a morning show called His and Hers, which transformed into SportsCenter at 6. While on SportsCenter at 6, Jemele Hill did get in some hot water, being suspended for a week after her remarks against the president. Jemele Hill did depart SportsCenter at 6 in February to join ESPN's website The Undefeated. While Michael Smith did exit from SportsCenter at 6, he still has multiple years left on his ESPN contract. And it's been reported that the likely replacements for SportsCenter at 6 will be Sage Steele and John Anderson. In my opinion, it just sucks to see Michael Smith go, but I could see the beginnings of him going, because when I would watch SportsCenter at 6 and it was just him by himself, it was almost like he wasn't having as much fun as he did if Jemele Hill was there. And I'm not trying to put blame on anyone, but it's just Michael Smith and Jemele Hill have this kind of connection that has gone that stands the test of time. Like when Jemele Hill did get in trouble for the remarks against President Trump, Michael Smith kind of stood by her side and didn't kind of flake on her at any point in time. But it's just gonna be so different for SportsCenter at 6 when it was originally His and Hers, and then ESPN decided to move them up to SportsCenter at 6. And in the last bit of sports news is just NFL offseason news and teams making trades and cutting players. So I'm just gonna quickly go through it just down by everything. I'm not gonna go through what they traded for. I'm just gonna say who has been traded and who has been cut. Let's get into it with what the Browns front office did, which was trade Danny Shelton to the Patriots. They traded for Dolphins wide receiver Jarvis Landry, and they traded for Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor, and they also traded to the Packers QB Deshaun Kaiser for cornerback Demarius Randall. But to me, the two biggest things that happened came from the Seattle Seahawks when they traded Michael Bennett to the Philadelphia Eagles, and they cut Richard Sherman. I'm going to link to the article saying what the Browns and the Seahawks traded for and what they got in return and what they got for those players and blah, 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 blah in the description. But it wasn't as interesting as I thought, because we all knew that it was going to happen eventually. But to me, the way it happened was just weird, because I personally didn't think they would let go Richard Sherman that easily. I thought they would at least try to trade him, because he's such an invaluable asset. I mean, I know he's about to come off of 2 Achilles tendon surgeries, but still, he's a great player for the Seattle Seahawks. But this just shows where the Seattle Seahawks are going to be going in the next few years. I mean, trading Michael Bennett to the Philadelphia Eagles and letting go Richard Sherman, 2 of your arguably best players on the team. They're not going to be a defensive team anymore, and I already kind of see them not making the playoffs anytime soon anymore. And now on to entertainment news. And in the only bit of entertainment news that I got, Shaquille O'Neal is planning on hosting his own EDM festival. Now, I don't know if I could get through this story seriously, but I'm going to try. Billboard has reported that Shaq is starting his own EDM carnival-style festival called Shaq's Funhouse. This festival is set to take place on March 24th and feature a whole slew of EDM artists like, Skrillex and DJ Face call it. I don't know, honestly. And the venue hasn't been announced yet, but it's invite only. And here's the thing, to any normal person, to any normal celebrity, this would be a little insane and crazy. But this is Shaq we're talking about. This is Shaq-Fu Shaq. This is, hey Kobe, how does my A taste, Shaq. This is Diesel. This is a lot. This is Shaq. Like, I really wouldn't expect less from this man. But that about wraps it up for this show. But I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below. If you want to watch my last video, then click right here. If you want to subscribe to my channel, then click right here. Like, comment, and share, and I will see you next time.